Well, kids are heading back to school. My kids start tomorrow. They're excited. And safety is a high priority. Taking the bus, walking, or new drivers all need to be aware of their surroundings to get to school safely.
And we all need to help out. And tips for parents, students to stay safe. We have Michael Smauldon here. He's the executive director for the American Red Cross Northern Utah chapter. Thanks so much.
Oh, thank you.
We need your safety tips.
Oh, thank you.
I mean, even with all the advice last year, we still had some kids who were hit in crosswalks, even a crossing guard.
Yeah, unfortunately, pedestrians, when it comes to, preteen up to teenagers, have increased, since 2013, 30%, even though like normal pedestrian traffic incidences have actually gone down. So it's a big concern for our children to ensure that we're keeping them safe, and we all need to play our part to ensure that happens.
I'm glad it's going down. It still happens. My son's classmate, a 10-year-old boy in a crosswalk, just lost his life from a truck that didn't see him. So it is a nice reminder for all of us just to be aware of our surroundings, especially as kids are all over the place. Even when it comes to the bus, being able to load the bus, what are some of the precautions we need to take?
Yeah, so first and foremost, if your students and your children need to make sure that they're stepping back off the curb, wait for that bus to come to a complete stop, and wait for instructions for them to enter the bus. If you're driving and you see buses, this is probably a good time for you to really pay attention, slow down, make sure that you're paying attention to the lights that are happening on the bus. When they're yellow, that means slow down. When they're red, that means stop. Both directions, you need to stop. So make sure that you're keeping our kids safe. Kids are going to be crossing the street and sometimes enter the bus, so it's a good thing for you just to come to a complete stop, wait for those lights to turn off, and then keep moving.
Stay in view of the bus driver. Yep. Never go behind the bus.
Yeah, never behind the bus. Always go in front.
Well, and I think some people were confused about the crossing arm, because if you're behind the bus and the crossing arm's down, you don't go. But the other direction sometimes goes. They're not supposed to.
Nope.
Even on the other side of the road.
Because sometimes children have to cross to get to the bus, and they'll cross in the front where they can see the driver. So good idea just to stop. That's why the stop sign comes, and it's both directions. That a driver can see it, so just stop completely. Just wait for those lights to turn off and that stop sign to go back in, and then you can move on with your way.
And some of the buses have cameras on them now.
Yes.
To catch those drivers who are breaking past the stop signs.
Make that violation. Yeah, a lot of people do. So I'm glad that they have that. Hopefully we can all learn from each other and make that better. Another thing you were telling us about, as far as especially first days of school, a lot of kids are going to new locations, new places. This is a new route for them. So it's advised that parents walk with them maybe for the first few days, get them used to it.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, I'm a father. My kid's going to a new school this year. Walking distance, right? So me and my wife walked with her this week so we can learn the route and the timing of the route. So if when she's walking home and it's taking a little too long for her to get home, I know something's up. And so then if she's not checking in a certain amount of time, I'm reaching out, my wife's reaching out, we're making sure that she's getting home safe and sound here at home.
Well, and we see crossing guards and the crosswalks, and around schools they have that 20-mile-an-hour zones. But when it's not school time, you go the regular speed limit. It's school time.
Yeah, I think the safe bet, any residential area, you should be slowing down and paying attention. Yeah. It's not just for school. School zones are important, but like residential areas and things like that, like there's always children playing. So in general, you should be slowing down. You should be paying attention. You should be looking around and scouting around to make sure that, kids aren't just going to run from cars. We should teach our kids not to run from in front or behind cars that are parked. But just for safety caution, we should slow down, pay attention. And in those school zones, especially during those times when those lights are flashing, you should slow down and pay attention.
I lived in New York for a long time, and it was just commonplace to just dart across the streets and everything, because it's everywhere. But stay in those crosswalks and be prepared. Don't assume that they see you, and always be just a little extra cautious for the pedestrian.
Yep. Go to a crossing guard and follow their commands. They're there to keep you safe. So just make sure that you are following their command and pay attention and be safe going to school.
I mean, even downtown, you see people walking across the crosswalk on their phone.
Oh yeah.
And not paying attention. Somebody might not see.
Yeah, we with my kid, we lock her phone down, so she can't text or do anything during school hours. Just for that reason, I want you to pay attention to what you're doing in your surroundings. You should be getting to school safe. You should be learning and getting a good education, getting home safe, and then you can do whatever after that.
If kids ride their bikes, absolutely wear a helmet.
Yep, helmets,
but
even
it
with scooters.
Up your hair.
Yeah, you can always fix it.
It's the first
take
week
a
of
comb,
school.
take a brush. But wear a helmet with scooters, bikes. anything that's mobile like that to keep you safe so you're not getting injured.
If it messes up your hair, it means you're smart and you
Yeah,
wore a
you're
helmet.
smart. Yes, it's
because you're protecting
exactly
your
right.
brain, right?
I'd rather have messy hair than
Yeah.
being in the hospital.
Right.
So
Totally.
Well, thank you for
Oh my
all you
gosh.
do for the Red
Some great
Cross and
tips.
everything. Keep up the great work,
no,
Michael.
thank you, and let's keep our kids safe.
Right.